So here's the DJI Mini 2 and the Mini 3, and here are the remote controls. My smartphone Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus is not as bright as that display. Both of them are on their maximum brightness, f1.7, so it's wider. Aperture f2.8 is darker, normal. Now it's a little bit darker, but the screens are very different. That's much darker. The motor of the Mini 2 and Mini 3, the motors seem to be identical. This is brighter metal, shinier. Maybe this has a wider gap compared to the Mini 3 motor. Height-wise, they are also pretty identical. Mini 2 on the right, Mini 3 on the left. It has lights. Look at me, I'm here, so it's much more visible. The 3. Mini 3 has longer propellers, longer blades. Gimbals are pretty different. The 3 can move much more compared to the 2. 2 can barely look up. Sidewise is somewhat limited also. Here this part is moving. It has a limit also. It's moving much more to the other direction, to the right, but to the left it's limited. Has a smaller lens, and the 3 has a larger lens. 2 or 3 times larger on the inside, so that glass in the center is very small compared to this one. 2 or maybe 3 times smaller. The aperture, the battery location is much bigger on the left side on the Mini 3. Mini 2 has somewhat smaller batteries. Here's the Mini 2 battery, Mini 3 battery, quite larger, but the capacity is barely larger on this one. On the Mini 2 battery we have 17.32 watt hours and 18.10 watt hours, 2400 milliamps, 2200 milliamps. So it's quite bigger, but barely has a little bit more power. Mini 2 battery is much smaller, has almost equal power. The plastic casing of the Mini 3 battery is larger because this portion is kind of empty. You can see through it. So that's the Mini 3, and here's my Mini 2 FR Sky X Lite. I have a drone, 3 batteries, a charger, and a remote control. Will this fit inside there? That leg goes there. Notice it can hit the side. Mini 2 versus Mini 3. It's not too tall. The gimbal is slightly out, half a centimeter. And the width is larger with around a centimeter. Motor on the left. It is a bit wider. Those motors are outside, the back down, and the battery here at the end. This also sticks out. That also sticks out. Okay, so just like that, it's not going to enter. It enters this way. Now let's compare the two remote controls. This is at an angle that way. The lower side sticks out more, and around a finger is wider, and with around the finger it's taller. No, so it needs a different box. Mini 2 fits in perfectly into this box. It's closed. So that's the Mini 2. Mini 3 is slightly larger. XLS. And that box is way too large. Those are not from this drone. Here's a size comparison between the Mini 2 charging hub and Mini 3 charging hub. So these batteries are rotated 90 degrees and thus it is shorter, but it is thicker. This direction is larger. It's almost twice as thick. It's also taller. These batteries are much easier to remove. You just press it in here on the side and support it from somewhere and lift it up. Whereas these, you have that tiny area from where to grab it, and that other thing has to be pushed in. This is much harder to remove. You can barely have something to grab. It's flat. And on the other side, only that portion can be grabbed.